a while back I was chatting with Red Panda Mining, and he was in the market of trying to find some servers. I had a bunch of servers laying around that I was no longer using, just kind of CPU mining in the background. And so I ended up sending him 6 servers. They were all 1U units. And in exchange, we worked out a trade. Originally, I was looking for a KD Box Pro or a KD2 around that time when that was kind of first announced. This was around the time the KA3s were starting to ship. And I was kind of wanting just a device that I could put on the network, support Kadena, not too crazy yields, but you know, not really lose much by running it through the bear market. Finally, we worked out a deal. He was like, hey, I don't have a KD box, but what about a kd-lite? And I was like, wow, that's actually perfect. For the spot that I wanted to put it, there's one 10 outlet there. I didn't really want to consume a bunch of power, but there's nothing else on that circuit, so it was perfect. I was like, yeah, most definitely, I'll definitely take that. So it finally has arrived. We're gonna unbox it, check it out, make sure everything arrives safely. There are a couple holes on the boxes on each side, but everything seems to be intact. It's still a cube, so that's good. And so we're gonna get this unboxed. We're gonna get it hooked up, powered on. We're gonna jump over to the pool, config, probably dox Panda's Kadena addresses, and then get it hashing away. We're also gonna hop on over to Panda ASIC and see if this pretty much doorstop for most people is actually profitable for me. And he did ship it in the original, if I can spin this around here, it did ship in the original kd-lite box. So there you can see, it is a KD miner. It was the original shipping from wherever he got this from. And let's go ahead and separate the foam. Again, this is the kd-lite, so this is around, I think, just under 1400 watts on the regular hash rate mode. There's also a low power mode that you can run this in. Look at it. There's a little bit of wiggling there, but that is really just where the power supply slots in and sits next to the main board. Everything appears to be intact. Looks like all of the heat sinks are good, fully attached. Clearly this did not come from rig list, so that is good to see. So there it is. That is the kd-lite. We're gonna go ahead and let's get this hooked up, and I'll see you over at the computer. We're back over at the computer, and we've already headed on over to find.goldshell.com to list all the devices on our local network. Here we can see the kd-lite is online. It's been online for 4 minutes. We'll go ahead and click setting to launch it. And let's see here. So it looks like it is hashing away. And let's head on over to the miner settings. Actually, it's locked. Let's unlock it first. And let's make sure Panda didn't change the password on us. He did not, so we're good. We're in there. I'm going to go ahead and hop on over to the miner settings. Panda did have his settings in here. I went ahead and cleared them out and replaced them with mine, so I'm not doxing him. And so I did update this using pool flare. And here we can see right now we have it on hash rate mode. There's also a low power mode that you can toggle between. Let's go ahead and leave it on hash rate mode. And it is currently hashing at around 13.91 terahashes. And we can see the firmware version is 2.2.9. And if we head on over to Gold Shell's GitHub for their firmware, When we scroll down to the kd-lite, we can see the kd-lite, the latest version is 2.2.9, so it's already running the latest firmware version. It's still ramping up here if we head on back over to the dashboard, but it's up to 14.17 terahashes per second now, but it looks like it is hashing away. We've got 2 hash boards. When it first ramped up, we got some hardware errors early on, but those have appeared to settle in. They're not going up too much. So we are getting around 7.8 gigahashes per second, or 7.8 terahashes second rather, on the primary hash board, and almost 8 on the secondary hash board. Let's head on over to minetheasic.com. This is kind of my go-to site for all of my ASICs. Right, so we used to use ASIC miner value a lot, but Mine the ASIC has really come a long way, and I like using their site. They give you a lot more details. Now, one of the things I do want to mention, let's go ahead and do a search for the kd-lite real quick. And right now, if we pull this up, I've already have my electric rate adjusted here, and this is one of the big things. So for a lot of people, this miner is not going to be profitable necessarily. However, where I'm located, we have 5-cent residential electric rate. It's actually like 5.1 cents, but it's basically 5 cents. And so this miner, even though all the KA3s are online now, is actually profitable. So it's April 13th today, at the time of the recording of this video. One of the things I like about Mine the ASIC is they show you the shutdown price. Right, now keep in mind this is based off of current network hash rate, but they basically tell you, hey, if Cadena drops below 98 cents, you're now losing. And here they tell you it's currently at $1.008. My current profit is 4 cents. Yes, it's small, but it's actually really good considering where a lot of other people might be, right, and where we were just a couple months ago. So here you can see if you're at 12 cents a kilowatt hour, you're losing $2.19 a day. However, for me, since I'm only at 5 cents, it only cost me $1.60 a day to run this. Current revenue's $1.64. And so what we're looking at, obviously it's a very low revenue or very low profit. However, it is in profit, which is awesome to see. They do tell you the best payback time, which is based off of, their sellers down here. And so if you are looking for one, feel free to check out any of these. Obviously, if you can buy this direct from Gold Shell, that's probably going to be your best bet if you are in the market for one. But they also give you repair sites too, which is really cool to see. And then I believe these are sponsored mining pools and also similar miners. So if we took a look at the KD Box Pro, which is actually the miner what I was originally looking for, you can see that even at my electric rate, I would have been losing on that. But because the efficiency on the kd-lite is a little bit better, I'm actually profiting on this Doorstop, where normally I would, had I gone with the KD Box Pro, I actually would have been losing. So that is awesome to see. And they do show you a profitability chart that's kind of over time, so we can see from January till now where the profitability has been on the specific miner. And so here you can see, around $1.67 at the beginning of February. And even most recently, it was around $1.84 profit as late as March 28th. So only a couple weeks ago. This is definitely nice to see. One of the things I would like to see them put on here that's not on here right now is the low power mode. Right, so here we can see that the projected hash rate is 16.2 terahash at 1,330 watts. And we are currently getting 15.11. So we are underperforming there. However, it is pretty close. Really happy to have this miner. Super glad that it is actually profitable now. So that's really cool to see. Big thanks to Red Panda Mining for the trade. Definitely appreciate it. Glad to, get rid of those servers, and more importantly, having them go somewhere that somebody will hopefully use them if he ever builds his server wall. Make sure you leave comments on all of his upcoming videos telling him how much you want server content and that he needs to finally build out that server wall and get his airflow under control.